have to bring it up. But so all the questions about the universe, ask away, or look for the questions, and somebody will have an answer for you. So very unique way to do it. And also experts, just geniuses of people, will take the time out to answer you. So and I like doing that too, because some people, in my opinion, some people, they just don't know how to relate information to other people. They don't know how to break it down to like little learning blocks or little areas, and then talk about it. And in particular, see, this is the reason why I'm really digging YouTube as a way to journal, but also as a way to relate information to people, is that if there's some topic which I catch myself using, I want to make sure that I know the audience knows what I'm saying, what I'm referring to. And that's why, like I said, I feel that sometimes I'm like a professor. Not to give myself a big ego, but it's like what are the professors, what are the teachers' job is to teach. Well, I want to teach, and the reason why is because I feel I have knowledge and wisdom which I can impart on my fellow man. And by doing so, I'm going to improve the lifestyle and livelihood of the people I influence. And that is the same purpose as Dr. Wayne Dyer, motivational speaker. Look that guy up. Real neat guy. But well, who is he? He's just a guy that he just talks. He relates stories. He researches. He doesn't just stand up there and spout off whatever sounds cool. Like he researches stuff. He looks up stuff and he talks to people and really gets a sense of what they understand, what they know. I really identify with that guy, and I kind of want to follow in his footsteps, or be a proponent for his ideology. I think I sent an email to somebody. Well, I should probably do it again. But that's like the thing is that I would like to write. It's kind of a weird thing. It'd be like its own form of Scientology and Dianetics and L. Ron Hubbard and this and that. But not with the creepy cult following. It's like it's not so much. You know what it is? Okay, this is something interesting. My dad brought it up a while ago, years ago, and he mentioned it to me, and it kind of takes a while for you sometimes to understand. But he said, I don't really believe in religion. I believe in ideology. I believe in a way of living your life, and in a methodology, like a method to how you live your life. And what he got that from was off of some teachings of Zen Buddhism. That's just how you approach life. And yeah, because a lot of what Zen Buddhism is what is life? How does life interact with each other? With other life? How does life interact with nature? And it's just, it's a very primitive form of observation, wisdom, which was just refined over the years. And because China was always such a literate, stable society over the decades, that people were able to, just expand on it. And experts are able to pick up on the stuff and expand it. That's what it was with Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. It was a group of, it's just this lineage of guys who are real intelligent, and they taught each other. And it just so happens that, they happen to be living, right on top of each other. And, one guy was the master, one guy's the student. And they're able to teach each other. And based off of that, they're able to create ideas. Look at George Washington Carver. How many ideas did that guy come up with? Imagine how many more ideas a guy could have came up with. And imagine what benefit he's had to our society and our civilization. And, but he was black. And he was considered, a subhuman. And it's just like a brilliant mind. And he was shunned by, so many people. It's that's why, if anything, whatever you do, you got to have equality in your heart as you go out. And equality also means open-mindedness. So don't think that, open-mindedness means liberalness and that means weakness. Because, and part of the way you have weakness or weakness of thought is that it's because you're so open to other people's ideas. And I notice it, that I am pretty susceptible to people's personalities. I trust people a little too easily sometimes. But if you're going to help the world, if you want to help the world, and you want to be, effective at it, you want to do a good job about it, you got to have the right mentality about it. A lot of people, they want to change the world, and they knew how to do it. And Napoleon Bonaparte, who basically said, well, I know how to change the world, and he did it. And following him would have been Adolf Hitler, who said, well, I want to change the world, and that's what he did as well. And you got to remember, when you prove a lot of success, and success isn't you conquer half of Europe and North Africa. I mean, it's just like, my God, just all these amazing things, and you defeat these enemies left and right. Hey, that really wins people to your side. So, and then there's another guy who wanted to change the world, and that was James Jones. This preacher who started Jonestown down in Guyana in South America, and he was it's basically a cult, and it's what this is like back in 78, 79, freaked a lot of people out because they just went nuts down there, and they were such zealots and devout to this guy's word that they ended up killing each other, and killing almost all the people who wanted to leave. So just a bizarre term of events and circumstances. Neat program about it too. So, watch. I didn't used to watch history programs too much because they're just kind of boring because they talk about stuff, they show you stock footage. Well, this, the good stuff is when they reenact. That is that really helps you because you understand more the history of what's going on. You got people explaining the history, the background, and you got people doing the actions, and it really puts you in the frame of mind of the person you're watching, like, well, why did this person do it? What were they thinking? Why were they thinking this? What was their concern? What was on their mind? What were they trying to achieve? So, that's why you study history, because I think that's the long answer of why you study history, is that you put yourself in the frame of mind and the context of these historical figures, and thus you can establish your own context of behavior and thus gain wisdom. Understand like why you're pursuing something or why you want to do something a certain way. Which is what I'm doing here. So, which is why I'm writing a book. I'm writing this book, and the thing is, I consider myself a failure in the Army. And it wasn't so much that I did everything wrong; it's that everything wrong that could happen did happen. And it's mistakes. People will learn from the mistakes that I made, and they'll have a better life as a result. Interesting thing on Scrubs this week. They decided to focus, especially on one of the older doctors, who was more an administrator by that point, and and it's like the tone, or like what they're saying is, and this is the neat thing about Scrubs, is that it's a comedy, but it's also a bit of drama, and it's also, they make it like, well, this is a real working place. There's just zany things that people think about, and zany interactions, and it's like, yeah, and it works out because the story's a lot more compelling. You really identify more with the characters, and it's nice to like look at things in a certain, funny, whatever way. So anyway, but the older doctor, all the people around him complain and say, well, what does that guy do? He just sits in his office, and even the guy himself was just kind of like, well, I just ignore everybody, and I just go take naps, and if these guys really tick me off, then I really just don't listen to them. I don't do stuff that to help them out. Really drag my feet on stuff. And a patient was really got sick, and nobody kind of stepped forward because everybody's preoccupied with their own thing, and they're all complaining to him, and they're like, well, you know what? buddy, since you're not, here leading us, we're going to go lead ourselves.